Hi, everybody. It's Region Weather Meteorologist Matt Wentz with a look at your forecasts here on this Sunday night. It's Region Weather Live Time. Lots to talk about this week. We've got heat that has been out west over the last, month and a half, 2 months, and it's finally going to head out towards the east, and that involves us. So we are going to get hot this week, so we'll talk about how hot we're expecting things to get. We've got some humidity in that as well. I'll start with some conversation around the drought monitor, kind of where we stand right now, where we're going to go with that. And then we'll take you through your forecasts to get you planned ahead for this week of summer. Last week of July already, right? Ugh, time's going fast. We've got your forecast here after our open here on the Sunday evening edition of Region Weather Live. And happy end of your weekend, everybody. I hope you had a nice weekend. Things got a little dicey around here with some of the showers and thunderstorms over the last couple of days. Today, we squeaked out a nice one, though. Manageable humidity today as well, but temperatures really going to start to soar here as we get into your middle half of the week. As it looks right now, I've got some of the numbers here that I'm forecasting. We'll take you through the models as well. Jeff's with us. Hi, Jeff. Deb, hello to you. Susan, hi. Thanks for joining us. JK's with us as well. Hey, Susan, another Susan on here too. Popular name here tonight. Debbie's with us. Good evening to you, Gail. She says it's too hot. And good evening to you, Mark. Thanks for joining us, buddy. All right, let's get right to it. Let's thank our sponsors first and foremost. We'll start at the bottom this time. Last but not least, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram out of Valparaiso. They've got Jeeps on sale almost all the time, and they are the best value Jeep you'll find in Northwest Indiana. It is always Jeep season. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso, right off US 30 there. Our nonprofit, St. Jude House, for more information on the wonderful work that they're doing, stjudehouse.org. I'm going to put out a post after this. They've got a huge night coming up at the Gary, at the Railcats game, where it's going to be St. Jude House night, essentially, where a lot of the money is going to go towards proceeds. And I'll get you all the information on that. But a big event coming up. So if you haven't been to Railcats game yet this year, you're going to want to attend this one because it goes towards a wonderful nonprofit here in Northwest Indiana that centers around domestic violence. Again, they've got a new mobile advocacy program we've been talking about since February. It actually launched where they'll come meet victims in whatever place they happen to want to meet, whether it be a public place, whatever that is. And the most important thing to me is they ask the question, what can we do for you, rather than here's what we do for you. A lot of companies and nonprofits do that, right? So they listen to you first. So anyway, if anyone's dealing with anything, coworker or whatever it is around domestic violence, stjudehouse.org is a place to go. And again, I've got that information on that Railcats game coming up. Okay, we'll be pushing that this next week. PSA, what is that? Publicserviceadjusting.com. They are the go-between. Literally, they're your advocate during the entire insurance claim process. So if you have any damage or anything from storms, or not even from storms, that it requires an insurance claim on your property, go through them first. Before you even talk to your insurance company, go to them. They will act on behalf of you. They'll get you more money than you'd get on your own going through your insurance company. It's nothing but 5-star reviews for them. It's publicserviceadjusting.com. You can meet the whole team there. It's a wonderful group of folks, all from right here in Northwest Indiana. And last but not least, our favorite plumbers, tigerplumbing.net. They don't charge a trip fee ever. They'll come out, analyze the problem, for free, right? Gas ain't cheap, but they don't care. They have served Northwest Indiana very nicely here as a family-owned business out of the Highland area. It's tigerplumbing.net. Rave reviews about them from all of you that have used them. So thank you for letting me get through the sponsors. We thank them. Our webcam is mysteriously working again. I don't know what happened. If you guys were with me last week, it just kind of cut out, but it's back on. So there you go. Technology. All right, so Julie is asking a good question, and I'm glad you're starting with this, Julie. I'll use your comment to kind of start on the forecast here. How much rain do we need to get out of our drought? Always look forward to seeing you both on Region Weather Live and Z107.9 radio every day. First of all, Julie, thank you very much. What a way to start the show. I really appreciate that. But I love your question. How much rain do we need to get out of the drought? So we're actually not in a drought at the Porter County Airport. Okay, that's the center point to Northwest Indiana in our region that I use for all of our almanac stats, all of our rainfall stats, and all of that. And what's interesting, so I was kind of crunching some numbers here off to the side before the show because I do prepare for this, so you actually get good information, right? And at the Porter County Airport for the year, we're down like half an inch. That's it. All right. We're above average for the month. I mean, everything is right where it should be. Here's the problem. Rain fell. We had a thunderstorm about a week and a half ago that put down quite a bit of rain right over the Porter County Airport. Not everyone saw that thunderstorm, so it's not evenly distributed across all of Northwest Indiana. So looking at some other areas around us, which again, there's not recording stations everywhere, but most airports have one. And looking at the numbers, a lot of us could still use a good 2 to 4 inches of rain to get out of the drought. But a lot of us are also sitting pretty right now, right near average. So based on your lawn, more than likely, if you need rain or not, because remember, rain does not fall evenly in thunderstorms, and that's the way the summer goes. Some of us have seen a lot of rain. Some of us have missed some of these thunderstorms where it hasn't rained a drop. I mean, we've all seen some of these decent clusters come through, but on those days where it's kind of scattered. So it varies very widely from one place to the next. Officially at the Porter County Airport in Valparaiso or near Valparaiso, we are flat on the year. So we would be technically out of the drought. So in terms of drought, what you're looking at here, this was last week's drought monitor. And this is moderate drought in this kind of brown shaded area, just to double check. And then this is, the worst is obviously this darker orange that we have here. Look at the improvement though. This was last week. And this is this current week that we're in right now. So things have certainly improved. I know you can't quite see, I've got my logos covering up, but you can barely see Lake and Porter County there, but notice the improvement between the two. That's really the point that I want to make. So we've gotten better in terms of the drought, but here's the problem. And this kind of leads to our heat conversation this week. This is what it looks like across the country right now. There's been a lot of improvement here too. I know it looks really bad in the Central Plains, but this drought has even gotten better through time with clusters of showers and storms and kind of this pattern we've been in. And where you're seeing it actually get worse is out west right now because their monsoon season isn't really going very strong. Typically by late June into July, the monsoon season starts where they get moisture, not just out of the Gulf, but especially off the Pacific Ocean that cranks out daily thunderstorms, kind of like Florida gets every single day. In that monsoon season, a lot of these mountains and the desert areas rely on that rain for their yearly rainfall. Remember, we were front loaded with a ton of rain and snow heading all the way into spring across the western US, but it's gone pretty dry since. And obviously, they've been dealing with all that heat recently with just extreme temperatures out there. So all that combined is leading to a developing drought once again, especially in the Four Corners region here and the Pac Northwest. So that's kind of where the drought is getting worse. This drought across the Central Plains is either holding or getting a little bit better. But here's the problem for our heat. Dry soil, all right, relatively dry soil can breed hotter temperatures. When you have moisture and water in the soil, like let's say it rains a lot, today, and let's say tomorrow it gets really hot, it would be more humid tomorrow because a lot of that water is evaporating, but temperature wouldn't get quite as hot. So, let's say the models were saying 100 degrees for tomorrow, but it just rained yesterday. We would probably, as meteorologists, go down like 96, 97, but with humidity. All right. But the problem here is we've got dry soil with that continued drought out in the plain states. And that dry soil, let's say the model is saying 100 degrees, there's no evaporation coming out of that soil. So I would probably go 102, 103. You can really crank out some hot temperatures, even above model guidance, when you have a drought. And the problem is we have this pretty decent drought, not so much locally, but more so just out in Illinois, then especially as you get out in areas of Nebraska, Missouri, and Kansas. And that drought or those dry soils is going to build some serious heat there this week. And the problem with that is we're so close to that the heat is going to spill in here, if that makes sense. So just because we're not technically under a severe drought here locally anymore, we're going to see, the problems come in from some of the heat out in the plains. So let's take it through it. by and large, temperatures are the biggest story this week. Okay, we are going to have some thunderstorm chances. Some of those could be on the strong side. We'll deal with that last. I want to talk heat first, and I want to take you through the models in case your phone app is all over the place and it's saying like 110 degrees later this week. I want to show you why. I'll show you what model your phone app is using, because remember, your phone apps, there's not a human person typing in those numbers, no matter what it is. It's all the numbers we get as meteorologists and change into our forecast because we know what's going on. A computer doesn't always know that. It can't explain complex processes like a drought and how that could up your temperature, all right? So your phone apps are just showing the numbers basically I'm going to show you, okay? But we'll put a spin on it. So here we go. Again, today I think we were at 81 degrees officially in Valparaiso. It wasn't a bad day today, but here comes the heat. So let's start with tomorrow. I'm going to go to max temps here. That way we don't have to look through every hour. So here is tomorrow. Okay. Boy, this internet just lags down here. You guys feel me. I know you've been dealing with this for a while. Okay, here we go. Come on, computer. There we go. All right, so this is tomorrow. Hopefully you can see these numbers. I think you can. Hopefully you've got a big enough screen. We're talking mid 80s tomorrow. All right, we'll have lots of sunshine around. And then here comes Tuesday. Eventually, I should have preloaded all these. Come on, Bessie. You can do it. Here we go. Let's go to Tuesday. There you go. So here comes the heat. Notice the heat building down towards Texas, all right? This is that western heat. It's going to start to expand. So by Tuesday, we're feeling it, all right? I've got us near 90 on Tuesday. Some of the models saying upper 80s or mid 80s even I saw in one of them. So I've got us near 90 on Tuesday. And then Wednesday afternoon, oh, we're rolling fast now. Wednesday, we're into the 90s as that heat starts to get in here. I've got us also at 90 degrees on Wednesday. And then the real true stuff comes in here on Thursday, but we're going to have to go to the 12Z to see it here. So this may take an hour and a half just to load the temperatures. I'm just kidding. It won't take that long. Okay, so here you go. So that's Wednesday. Watch this heat on Thursday. I mean, we've got widespread 90s across the area. I have us at 90. This little cool spot you see out towards the east is because it's forecasting thunderstorms there. So keep in mind, in this pattern that we're in, where we've got high temperatures starting likely Tuesday, but we'll say Wednesday to be safe. When we have daily highs in the 90s plus, anytime you get storms, you could have a huge bust on temperatures. Let's say we get a midday round of storms, then we wouldn't hit 90 that day, okay? So just keep that in mind, but all indication is we're going to be into the 90s. So there's Thursday's highs, low 90s. I've got 94 for us on Thursday. I mean, we're talking summertime heat that we haven't really had yet this year. This is Friday now. I've got us at 95 on Friday. And the problem with Friday, it's going to get thicker around here. That humidity is going to start to get here. So I would imagine if all things hold, we'll have some kind of heat advisory, maybe Thursday, but I would say Friday for sure. And then here's Saturday. This is the Euro saying 96, 97. I've got us at 95. I'm going to go conservative on Saturday. But then watch this. Cold front comes in. Everything gets smushed down to the south, all right? So this is not going to be long-lived as it looks right now. By Sunday, the Euro has us back in the 70s and 80s, and it keeps it there. Look how it keeps that heat all the way down to the south. It just squashes it down towards Tennessee with no threat of arriving back into at least the first couple of days of August, says the Euro, all right? So let's take you into some of the modeling. This is the latest GFS run in terms of temperatures, okay? You know I'm not a big believer in the GFS, but it's pretty accurate to start the week. It's got us at 86 tomorrow. I totally agree with that. I have 86 for tomorrow. I had us at 90 on Tuesday. It's got 93. Here's the warmth that it's forecasting. Here's the cool down. It has it a day earlier this weekend. But then the GFS really bounces us back into some heat before some real big heat comes in that first week of August. It's got us at 100 degrees on August 6th and 101 at August 8th, all right? Is this wrong? I can't say it is. The reason why, we're 10 plus days out, okay? It's seeing something. It's seeing that ridge building back, obviously. But I wouldn't hold my hat on that, at least not right now. Here's the Euro. I would lean a little bit more towards Euro. I'll also show you the national blended models too. Again, this is taking all those models I showed you and putting all the numbers on it for you so you can see them. So here's the Euro numbers this week. Notice the 90s by midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then, you know, Euro, obviously we showed it, is going pretty hot Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with Friday and Saturday being the hottest days. I would say Thursday and Friday are going to be your hottest days right now. Saturday's kind of a question mark, and if that front arrives in time. because if that front speeds up to the GFS level and brings some showers and storms, during the day Saturday, we're not going to hit 98. So just keep that. That's kind of the questionable one. And then the Euro has us getting cooler. Final thing I want to show you here, temperature-wise, is the National Blend of Models. So this takes all the major models, puts them together, kind of blends them up based on recent accuracy. So these are some pretty good numbers to go off of, but you can see more of the trend, hot Thursday, Friday. You notice how it backs us off on Saturday and then brings us back into the 80s. So moral of this story, before we talk about rain and then answer your questions, is the fact that we're going to warm up, all right, to the extent of how hot we get, still kind of remains to be seen later this week. But I would bet on 90 on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then mid 90s Thursday through Saturday. All right, that would be my official forecast coming out. Okay, and that humidity this week is going to remain kind of manageable, right where it was today, so you can feel it, but it's not super thick. It'll stay the same Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, it'll start to build a little bit more. And then by Thursday, it's humid outside, like more so than the other days. And then Friday, Saturday, out ahead of that front, I see that moisture pooling. Friday, Saturday, going to be some pretty hot days as it looks right now. Okay. Again, Saturday in question, remember, but Friday looking hot. I know Porter County Fair is still going this weekend as well. So there's that. In terms of rainfall, all right, this is the last thing I want to cover here. Tomorrow's dry. We don't have anything to worry about. System out towards the east, no concerns. But by Tuesday, we start to flirt with this next system that's coming in. So, there's pop-up chances down towards the south on Tuesday. I still think we'll stay dry on Tuesday. But Wednesday's where we start to bring in some rainfall chances. There'll be a wave, kind of like what we saw yesterday, moving through Northwest Indiana, just kind of a wave that's popping a lot of downpours and showers and thunderstorms. Not a guaranteed washout, but there'll be some pretty good action on radar. I don't see anything severe with this on Wednesday, but pretty good shot at rain on Wednesday as this moves through. And then Thursday is where it starts to get interesting. The Euro and all the other models are picking up on that heat as it comes in, and those ridge riders, so those large complexes of storms, will be forming on the outer ring of that. Okay, we should be in the ring this time versus on the edge of it where we get the showers and storms. So more often than not, we'll be super hot and dry in terms of our hours, but we'll have to watch for some of these complexes to kind of come in and put a dent on that ring of heat. So here's what I'm saying. So Thursday, chance of storms there, better chance here. The Euro's picking up on some kind of complex rolling through here Thursday night and Friday. Okay, so and that could have the potential to be severe. That'll be our next chance. And then you can see lingering complexes of storms as we get into Saturday. And remember, that front goes by Saturday night and the Sunday on the Euro. So here you go. Real good chance of rain there. Probably severe weather with that. When we go from 95 back down to the upper 70s, low 80s on Sunday, there's got to be something that gives. So we'll probably have severe weather there. Okay. So in summary, with severe weather, happy to answer your questions next. But in summary, with severe weather this week, we've got I don't think any threat on Wednesday, but once we get into that real thick heat and humidity, especially Friday and then especially Saturday, those 2 days I would also watch for severe weather chances. Okay, and we will be watching for severe weather chances. Okay, all right. So I hope that helps explain the week. That was kind of a long-winded 7-day forecast for you. And in terms of the extreme heat coming back, I mean, we're heading into August, so it is likely that we will have more 90s in the forecast in August, and the GFS is showing 100-degree heat early August. So I'll keep my eye on that. Nothing to kind of panic about right now. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see. I really don't enjoy that kind of heat, Jan says. Pearl, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us. Good evening to you. Mark says the rains really boosted the flowers growing in the barrels over the daily watering they're getting. Yeah, and Mark, we talked about that when we were really in the thick of the drought, was the fact that rainwater is so much better. There's so many more nutrients in rainwater than there is your hose. So yeah, things are, I'm sure gardens are looking really good right now compared to a month ago, right? So there's that. Let's see. Jan has family flying in from South Carolina early Thursday. Jan, it'll just depend on where that. There'll probably be some kind of complex of storms anywhere from Minnesota all the way down towards Kentucky, somewhere in there along that ridge. So, I think they'll be just fine getting in. I don't see any huge issues in terms of, severe weather here locally or anything like that. Just something we'll have to keep an eye on. Gail's ready for snow. That's good. Jeff, we've got more travel here. My daughter and her husband are flying out Tuesday morning to Orlando and coming back Thursday. Will they have good weather? They should, Jeff. I know Florida is in the heat too. I can check Florida for you. Let's go southeast. So they're flying out Tuesday, so they'll be fine flying out here and coming back Thursday. Oh, you just want a local forecast. You don't want Florida. Coming back Thursday, they should be okay. Same thing with Jan, with her family flying in from South Carolina on Thursday. Jeff, Thursday we'll have some kind of complex around the Great Lakes we'll have to keep an eye on, but I would say they'd be just fine right now. But their weather for them down in Florida is probably just going to involve daily rain chances, I would imagine. Yeah, there's a frontal boundary down there on Tuesday. So Orlando may have severe weather on Tuesday. And then it looks like just your typical sea breeze thunderstorms on Wednesday. Thursday, same thing, sea breeze thunderstorms. So it rains, a lot of lightning with those down there. Then it's all done. So that would be the same for them. Okay, cool. Hope that helps. Let's see. Mark says, Chopper Copper's ride on Saturday. See what you could do about that. I will, Mark, for sure. Boy, if Mark, what would change the forecast is if that frontal boundary slows. Like, let's say as you go throughout the week, you're saying temperatures on Saturday stay in the 90s, but you're seeing Sunday's temperatures come up. If Sunday's temperatures come up, that means that front has slowed. And so that would bring storm chances in here Sunday versus Saturday. But as of right now, it looks like we're due for some good storms sometime Saturday. Again, that's just an early look. David asking, are we going to have a dance party at Camp Lakeside in Valpo on Friday, July 28th? Yeah, well, you might be dancing inside, David. Just depends on where those storms are, buddy. But boy, it's going to be hot, my friend. So just make sure you stay hydrated. But it looks okay as of right now. Again, none of these days look to be a washout. So there's that. All right. Mark's asking about Region Weather gear. Mark, just in time for fall, I do have plans to bring back the merch I guess it is late summer, back to school time, like September is what I'm thinking. Once we start to get a little cooler, we'll bring back some hoodies and t-shirts again. Again, if you missed the story on the gear, we were doing it for a while, but this was all during supply issue and supply chain issues. Remember that when that was a lot of fun? I didn't have fun with that at all because our suppliers were running out of all sorts of different sizes and different colors. Some of them were stuff that people were ordering. So it became just a lot to manage that. And again, it's me managing these shipments. It's not, I don't have someone that's doing it. And so that just became messy. And then number two, it's very costly. To run not just a website that's dealing with shipments every single month. It adds up really fast. And I don't want to upcharge on hoodies and stuff like that to a level that it's ridiculous. It's just a hoodie, it's just a t-shirt. Although these t-shirts are really nice. Those of you that got the t-shirts first round, I hope you're still enjoying them as much as I am. This is the softest shirt. Anyway, that being said, I do have plans for fall to bring back merch because things are better now, which is good. So there's that. Andrew he's our snowblower guy that when he bought his snowblower and then we didn't have any snow. We literally had no snow after he got it. I was trying to think of a snowblower for sale joke, take everyone's mind off the heat, but I'm not ready to talk about that. Okay, good. You can though, because that would probably change things. We'd probably go down to the 30s for highs for a couple days. That's great. David has a family picnic on Saturday. Yeah, you're going to want to keep an eye on the radar for that, David, because as of right now, David, Saturday looks to be the day that I think we'd have some storms around here. Okay. It looks hot though, hot and humid. So man, make sure that AC is cranking. Okay. I think I've answered everything. Stephen, I saw your comment here. I'm no longer getting a notification that you're on live. That's why I haven't been on here lately. Stephen, we have been missing you, buddy. I don't know why that is. So the problem with Facebook, they change their notification stuff all the time and I can't keep up with it. But there are ways to set up in your settings. If you go to our page on your Facebook page, so log into your Facebook and then go to our page, there are settings in there to notify when live or notify when we get a post and all that stuff. So there is a setting in there somewhere. They probably changed something that just screwed it all up, but appreciate you joining us here tonight. I really do. Okay, guys, enjoy your Sunday night. We'll be with you all week this week. I don't have anything weird on the schedule, so we'll be able to track some of those storms in that heat. And please take the heat seriously. You know, if you've got anything you need to get done out ahead of that, you know, AC work or whatever it happens to be, please do that, because heat's the number one thing. I don't want to say it sounds so morbid. It's the number one killer in terms of weather. All right. It's not floods. It's not tornadoes. It's heat, which isn't very fun to talk about, but just keep that in mind. So make sure you take care of yourself and others. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us, guys.